you spend any time on NBA Twitter, you've seen this take 1,000 times. Players from the 80s and 90s had no handles, couldn't dribble, looked stiff and unattractive. But recently, some compilations started going viral that tell a very different story. What if I told you that the players we call unskilled weren't incapable of modern moves? They were just playing under completely different rules. This compilation is making the rounds and it is eye-opening. Look at what is happening here. Jerry West, one of the greatest guards ever, gets called for palming the ball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leans into a defender going up for a shot, offensive foul. Charles Barkley does a turnaround move that would be totally illegal today. And here's my favorite. A player in the 70s gets whistled for carrying on what looks like a completely normal dribble in slow motion. Credit to Kate Black on X for compiling this, because what this shows us is that the rules weren't just different, they were strictly, almost obsessively enforced.
Hold on. My thing is, if y'all watch Pete Maravich invented the game. I'm talking about Pete Maravich. They ain't really called nothing on Pete Maravich.
In the 1980-81 NBA rulebook, the definition was clear. Your hand had to stay on top of the ball, not the side, not underneath, the top. If you palm moved under the ball's center of gravity, or if there was any perceptible rest in the ball's motion, violation, turnover, your team loses the possession. Here's Isaiah Thomas, one of the best ball handlers of his generation, getting called for switching hands at full speed. And this is where it gets interesting. When people say Magic Johnson had no left hand, they're missing the point entirely. Look at this. Even Isaiah Thomas, listed at 6'1", one of the best handlers ever, couldn't do modern crossovers because they were illegal. Magic.
Hold on. This is sometimes what I hate about just watching compilations and stuff like that. Because if you go and watch Isaiah Thomas highlights like I did, you will see him in the highlights hitting niggas with hing, and they not calling it. I think they called it sometimes, but I didn't think they called it all the time like he's saying they did. Because I watched the highlights and Isaiah was...
Yeah, 6'9", didn't need to. He could just back defenders down. But then something changed. 1996, Allen Iverson enters the league with a crossover that was, by the letter of the 1980s rules, blatantly illegal. And the league had a decision to make. Boston Globe in November 1996. The NBA has actually instructed referees to monitor Allen Iverson's natural dribble, which is a palming violation. The LA Times reported every week, it seems, the league sends out another memo about his palming.
But didn't they start calling it heavy after he left 76ers? Because they didn't like him, or after he did something to a referee, they started calling it heavy.
Rod Thorne, the NBA's VP of Operations, officially denied there was a specific memo about Iverson, but he did admit there was talk during training camp about tightening up against rampant palming. But here's the smoking gun. Steve Kerr, years later, explained what really happened. What Iverson did, nobody had ever seen before, and it was a borderline carry. He was popular and exciting to watch. I think the league sort of realized we don't want to call a carry. The league literally looked at it and said, what do we do with this? They choose entertainment over enforcement. And we know these violations still happen because in November 2022, the NBA sent out a memo cracking down on carries. In that month alone.
Bro, they've been doing this since the 80s and 90s. They just pick and choose what they do. Like, they pick and choose when Jordan was playing, they pick and choose when LeBron playing, Kobe, they pick and choose, bro. It is what it is.
There were 44 carrying violations called. For context, the entire 2021-22 season had 43 total.
That's crazy.
But carrying was just the beginning. This clip went viral recently, and for good reason. Magic Johnson grabs a rebound, goes coast to coast, throws down a monster dunk, offensive foul. Now, people in the reply said that was just one bad call. So here's another one. Magic goes behind the back, finger roll, travel. What these clips reveal is a fundamental truth. In the early 1980s, you could not initiate. Reveal is a fundamental truth. In the early 1980s, you could not.
I don't know if that's a travel or not. I don't know. If I'm rough, I'm calling that though, because you don't know. Like, they can call that on somebody in the NBA right
reveal
now.
Is a fundamental truth.
And you go behind
in the early 1980s, you could
not. That's not a travel. Because he went behind the back 1, 2, and he later. That's not a travel. Referee tripping, bro. Referee tripping.
Not initiate contact going to the rim. Period. The rule was simple. If you dislodged the defender, whether they were set or not, 90% of the time it was called an offensive foul. The league wanted you to go around defenders or shoot over them, not through them. This is every Giannis drive you've seen for the last 10 years, but 40 years ago,
really.
Offensive foul. But the bigger change came.
Not really. See, they reaching. That's reaching, bro. Not really, because bro, I watched Sean Kemp. I watched all these players that was dunking through people. Come on, I'm talking about dunking through people. Come on, bro. That's what I mean by picking and choosing. You pick and choose.
With defense. In the 1980s and 90s, hand checking was legal. Defenders could put their hands on you, on your hip, on your chest, and physically guide you away from where you wanted to go. Gary Payton, the 1996 Defensive Player of the Year, explained it perfectly. In my era, all we do is rush up on them, hand check them, knock them off to the side and take the ball away from them. Then in 2004, everything changed. The Detroit Pistons upset heavily favored Lakers by playing suffocating defense, and David Stern apparently wasn't happy about it. The very next season, the NBA instituted a comprehensive ban on hand checking.
Stop it. They banned hand checking way before that. See, this is what I mean by capping. This is lying right here. And they didn't win that series by hand checking. All they did was they did a full court press. They full court press called Kobe and the Lakers. They ain't know what to do because they couldn't get Shaq the ball in his spots. That's all they did, bro. Not no damn hand checking.
Any contact on the perimeter that impeded an offensive player's progress was now illegal. The impact was immediate. 2003-2004 season, 93.4 points per game. Next season, 97.2 points per game. Personal fouls per game dropped from over 25 in the 1980s to the under 19 in the modern era. Isaiah Thomas, who played in the physical era, admits this freely. If I dominated then, I would dominate now, because rules now favor me. They favor the small guy. Ain't nobody in the lane.
But everybody's 6'2", like.
He went on to explain, they look faster today because of the rule change, which prohibits holding and hand checking to impede progress.
Bro.
Ain't nobody in the lane. He went on to explain, they look faster today because of the rule change, which prohibits holding and hand checking to impede progress.
What holding and hand checking?
Players didn't suddenly become more skilled. The rules changed what was possible. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Isaiah Thomas has been saying something for years that people don't want to hear. You all want him to win. You all changed all the rules so he can win. I go down the lane, I get my ass beat. Kevin McHale slamming Kurt Rambis to the floor. Everybody's getting hit, but he can't get hit. So we're gonna change all the rules so he can dunk because they're marketing the dunk. Now, what do you think that is? Sour grapes or not? Thomas was the president of the Players Association during these changes. He saw the business side. Michael Jordan was good for business. He was great for business. And the pattern continued.
Bro, what I told y'all, bro, the GOAT. If you foul the GOAT, you can't foul the GOAT. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, you foul the GOAT, nigga, it's a foul. Ain't no more roughing him. Pistons, go and get up out of here. No, stop playing. Like, I understand that part, bro. I understand, like, bro, if, like, we want people to watch the game, you got to make it less jailhouse basketball. Like, you got to make it realistic. Come on now. I understand why they
2001
do that, like,
zone defense.
It really made a lot of difference, like, what people try to reach. They be reaching.
But defensive 3 seconds added to prevent paint capping. 2004 hand checking banned after defensive finals. 2009 gather step formally defined after LeBron's crab dribble controversy. The numbers tell the story. Offensive rating points per 100 possessions. 1981 105.5. 2024 115.3. Turnover percentage 1981 15%. 2024 12.1%. The game didn't just evolve. It was engineered to favor offense, and now it is trickling down. Watch any middle school or high school game and you'll see kids palming the ball, taking 4 or 5 steps, and never getting called for it. As one reply to these viral videos said, your favorite player would look just as goofy if they had...
That's cap. See, this is what I hate about niggas that don't watch no basketball. This is not true at all. This is not true. If players could do what Bron and them could do, they would change the rules. Y'all not understanding how dumb y'all sound? They changed the rules because Jordan was doing stuff that nobody else could do. They changed the rules because LeBron was doing stuff nobody else could do. If somebody was doing stuff nobody else can do, they'll change the rules. Well, that's why you think when Larry Bird was shooting all them deep shots, Larry Bird, I'll say, hey, we got to put a 3 in. As soon as he came in the league, what they put in the league? A 3-point J. So now you're going to say the people before that are better than Larry Bird because, what? That don't even see.
Had to play under those strict rules.
Larry Bird would have looked goofy in the older days because they didn't have a 3-point line. Like, shut up.
What is the point of all this? It is not to tear down modern players. Guys like Luka, Giannis, Jokic, they're
I feel
incredible.
like old niggas be hating, bro. But I understand the old niggas. Like, I never call old niggas trash or old players trash. But the old players just be hating on modern day. Like, they would just look this. No, they wouldn't. The whole game would have been changed. They'd have had a modern
But
players.
when someone tells you that Magic Johnson or Larry Bird or Michael Jordan couldn't play today because they didn't have handles or they were too slow, they are ignoring the fact that these players were operating under fundamentally different constraints. Saying Magic Johnson didn't have a left hand is absurd. He couldn't use
he didn't have a left hand. Stop. He couldn't use his left hand. Come on, bro. How does that? He couldn't use
moves that would have been called violations.
What? How does it? This nigga say he couldn't use his left hand because the rules would have made it a violation. What? What is you talking about? So he couldn't make a regular dribble with his left hand and make a left hand layup? See, old niggas be just trying to make any excuse. Stop it. He didn't have a left. He's still one of the greatest point guards ever. He probably is the greatest point guard ever. Top 5 player ever. He didn't have a left hand, sorry.
Under fundamentally different constraints. Saying Magic Johnson didn't have a left hand is absurd. He couldn't use moves that would have been called violations. Moves. Jerry West didn't have no handles. His handles had to stay on top of the ball. Isaiah Thomas wasn't slow. He was being hand-checked by...
Nobody ever said Isaiah Thomas was slow. Who is saying these things? Isaiah Thomas is one of the best ball handlers of all time, one of the best PG of all time. Top 3 PG of all time. Like, my thing is, bro, y'all gotta stop it, bro. They was not good at what they wasn't good at, bro. Everybody got a deficiency.
John Stockton. The players were always skilled. The question is, what would they look like if you remove the handcuffs? As Isaiah said, the rules now favor me. Imagine what the 80s superstars would do with a gather step, no hand checking.
You gotta think about it, but when the players come in the league, bro, like Michael Jordan, or somebody different, they gonna change the rules. They be like, bro, what you talking about, bro? This is everybody wanna come see him play. You think we gonna keep calling the fouls or keep calling the walks or the travels on somebody they want to come see play? No, we gonna say, ref, let him do that, bro. We don't give a fuck about none of that. What they talking about, bro? Y'all gotta understand, like, yeah.
And the freedom of initiate contact at the rim. This isn't about which era is better. It is about understanding the context. When you watch basketball history, you're not just watching different players, you're watching different games. And massive credit to those Twitter videos and the...
Man, y'all niggas just be dicking old niggas, man. I think, bro, I don't think that the old niggas was trash because Larry Bird is like that. Michael Jordan, they was like that. I just don't think, like, people be talking crazy like young players and modern players couldn't play in that era. Modern players would have changed the game. But we got 6'6" PGs, 7'4" players shooting. We got KDs. LeBron. Like, y'all gotta think about what y'all be talking about sometimes. Like, I understand that back in the day the players was like that, yeah, but Magic Johnson didn't have a left hand. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say Magic Johnson didn't have a left hand. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, bro. Golly, it's okay to say Larry Bird was not athletic. He wasn't. But he still got 3 back-to-back MVPs. What are you talking about, bro? Everybody got a deficiency. Don't stop them from being some of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. But it is what it is, bro. Let me know in the comments what y'all think, bro. Let me know what y'all opinion is on this situation. And I'm going to see y'all next video.